It's frustrating. You understand most of what you hear and read in English, but when it comes time to speak, your mind goes blank. I want to help you get comfortable speaking English out loud and with confidence. I decided to find out how science can help you, and I found out something shocking when I started to do some research, but it's shocking in a good way for you. First, I want you to remember it's completely normal to feel awkward and uncomfortable when you first start learning a language. It's kind of like when you first start doing videos. You feel awkward and uncomfortable, but after a while you get used to it, and after a while the words will start to flow. I'm Leanne Gallant with Share the English, and I want to help you speak English out loud. So let's look at science first. Chunking was the first thing I came upon. Chunking is putting groups of words together. It's easier for your brain to recognize a group of words or a phrase or a sentence than individual words and try to put them together. So, for example, when you learn greetings, you might say, "Hi, I'm Leanne." The other person says their name, and then I would say, "Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you is a little phrase that you know, that's when you say it, nice to meet you. Your brain's not searching for each word. Nice, nice what? Oh, to meet you. You just spit it out, nice to meet you. So part of what I'll teach you is some of these phrases that can help you, especially in starting a sentence. Sometimes you can start with a phrase and that just helps get the words flowing. So that's the first thing I learned when I went to science was chunking. The next thing was the output hypothesis. The output I can hardly say it. The output hypothesis is that you learn by producing language. When you're reading and listening, you don't have to fill in any gaps. You might not understand a word here or there, but the words are there, and sometimes you can figure them out through context. But when you have to speak, the words aren't in front of you. They have to come from your brain. So you realize what's missing, where the gaps are, and what types of things you need to learn. And the more you do that, the easier it will become. The third interesting and shocking thing that I discovered was from a Dr. Charles Brown, who teaches at a university in Japan. He is a professor of applied linguistics in English education, and he's been studying this for over 30 years, and he's a specialist in second language vocabulary acquisition. So Dr. Brown and his colleagues are working on the new general service list. So you've heard probably that you need to know 3,000 words to be able to speak English, but knowing those 3,000 words doesn't mean you'll be able to speak English. It just means that you can probably recognize most of those words. Again, speaking, you have to learn it by speaking. First of all, in the Oxford English Dictionary, there are over 600,000 words. But the good news is not even just words, they're families of words. So there are probably millions of words. But the good thing is you don't need to know all those words. In speaking English, we seem to say the same words over and over again. In spoken English, 90% of the words we use are only 721 words. And if you look at the different variations of those, it's probably only around 1,000 words. So that's great. You don't need to learn 600,000 or even 3,000. 1,000 words should do it. And if you understand most of what I'm saying or most of what you read and hear, you probably already know most of those words. I'm sure by now you've heard of comprehensible input, which means understandable input. And that's when you're consuming videos and books and materials that are just a little bit behind your comprehension. So if you know 90%, you can fill in the blanks and use context to figure out the other 10%. Well, what I think you need to do now is something called comprehensible output. You need to be speaking words that people can understand. So let's get started with a little exercise. I want you to speak English in this video. So I'm done with doing all the talking. Now we're going to have a conversation. I need to put something together. Can you help me with it? Okay, great. And I hope you said that out loud. Saying it in your head doesn't help. You need to open your mouth and say it out loud. And if you're in the quiet room in the library, just move your lips. Okay, let's go. I like to go to the beach, but sometimes it gets too hot sitting in the sun. So I bought this little tent as a beach shelter so that when I'm too hot or I don't want to get burnt, I can sit under this tent. So one of the things I wanted was a tent that was easy to set up. Whew. This tent is easy to set up. Oh, the strings are tied. There we go. The problem is, as easy as it is to set up, it's not very easy to take down. So I've been practicing, and these are the instructions. Get a close-up of them. I don't know. I'll take a close-up of these instructions, but in French and English. So I've watched a video about 4 times, and we'll see if we can put this tent down. So you take it like this and lay it down, and it looked easy in the video, but oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to ask you questions. Do you like to go to the beach? Answer out loud now. If so, where do you go to the beach? Where's your favorite beach? So just answer at the level you're comfortable with. Now, have you ever been camping? I've been camping, but not for a long time. I'm more of a cottage person, not a tent person. Okay, so I have to push all the inner side parts inside, all the way around. And then it says to, grab the tent here at the bottom and here at the top and bring it together like that. Now I'm somehow supposed to put it on its end and fold one part into the other. I don't think I got it this time. Into a circle. Oh, look at that. I think I may have done it. Now I'm supposed to be talking to you and asking you for help and asking you questions. What I'd really like is a hand. All right. See if I can get this baby zipped up. Now, the first time I put this tent together, like I said, I watched the video about 4 times, and it wasn't easy, but I don't want to look too silly when I go to the beach, and I don't want to have to bring it strapped to the top of my car. But there, I did it. So what I want you to know is it was hard to do the first time and the second time, and I've been doing it every day for about 3 or 4 days now, and I'm getting much better at it. So English is the same. It's hard at first. You practice a little bit every day, you're going to get much better at it. So I'll see you in the next one, and I'm going to do a video, hopefully, up at my cousin's cottage where I'll walk around and show you this beautiful cottage that she's rented, and I'll ask you some questions. Okay? See ya.